Back like we never left. This is Alex from Double Move Sports, and you're watching the Fantasy Film Room. After taking a hiatus of breaking down game film with you guys, we are back getting into the truth of the tape, putting together takes based on analytics and game film to help you win fantasy titles. For those of you that are new to the channel, the Fantasy Film Room started in 2019, where we would break down a player's film from one specific game, look at their usage and ability to see what we can learn for their rest of the season outlook. This year we've broken down Kenyon Drake and Ronald Jones, just to name a couple. So if you haven't checked those out, be sure to do so. Also, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more fantasy football content all season long. Now let's get into it. There are many teams in the NFL that we fully expect to produce two valuable fantasy football wide receiver options in 2020. Think of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin on the Bucs, Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods on the Rams, or Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley on the Falcons, just to name a few. And while many teams can support two wide receivers in fantasy football, it is very rare to support three. This season, the Dallas Cowboys are going to produce three top 36 fantasy football options at the receiver position: Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and rookie CeeDee Lamb. First things first, let's look at what the top three receivers on the Cowboys were able to do last season. All three players were productive for fantasy and for the Cowboys, with plenty of volume to go around in this high-powered offense. Both Cooper and Gallup were top 20 options at the position in terms of fantasy points per game, both going over 1,000 yards on the season. Randall Cobb was still in flex consideration and was more involved and productive than people really give him credit for. This season, the Cowboys made a major upgrade at the wide receiver 3 spot, drafting rookie wide receiver CeeDee Lamb out of Oklahoma. With all three of these weapons in the passing game, Dak Prescott is going to be able to expose the best matchup on a play-by-play basis. Expect all three of these receivers to be on the field together often in 2020, as Dallas ran three wide receiver sets 67% of the time in 2019. New head coach Mike McCarthy ran three wide receiver sets 77% of the time during his last season in Green Bay, so expect this trio to be a matchup nightmare for opposing defenses. The first play we're going to look at here is a perfect example of how difficult it's going to be to guard these Cowboys wide receivers in 2020. Dallas lines up in the shotgun with Cooper and Gallup on the outside and Randall Cobb in the slot. The defense is showing a cover 2, which gives the Cowboys the opportunity to strike the deep middle portion of the field. And on this play, we see Cooper and Gallup run go routes, causing both deep safeties to cheat outside, knowing that these two wide receivers are always a threat to win deep. When this happens, it leaves the deep middle of the field wide open, and Randall Cobb is able to get behind the linebackers and find this zone on a deep post route. Prescott sees the open receiver and delivers a strike for a walk-in touchdown. While Cobb commanded the slot role in 2019, expect CeeDee Lamb to elevate the role in 2020. While at Oklahoma, almost half of Lamb's production came out of the slot, and he made the most out of the opportunities he received. Lamb broke more tackles than any other FBS wide receiver last year and averaged over 20 yards per reception. As a mid-first round pick this year, expect Lamb to produce highlight reel plays week in and week out. And while comps aren't everything, if you want to get a feel for his playing style, his player profile comp is Hall of Famer Jerry Rice. Now, while Lamb is the sleeper of the group this season, the one with the most upside is Amari Cooper. Cooper finished as the wide receiver 10 in full PPR formats last season, and while being banged up and having his snaps limited in several games down the stretch, he still is the true definition of a boom or bust guy. His talent gives him top 5 upside on a week-to-week basis and top 5 upside in 2020 as a whole. When Cooper locks in, he quickly becomes one of the most unstoppable wide receivers in the league. Cooper's route running ability and change of direction ability immediately stood out to me on his film. On the first play here we're going to look at from Cooper, we see him lined up in the slot against man-to-man coverage. The defense is showing blitz and bites on the play action, giving Cooper the entire middle of the field to work. Amari runs a crisp post corner out on the play, while Gallup runs a go route on the outside. Cooper gets a great release off the line here and plants on his shallow post route. Because he immediately creates separation, the defender is forced to over-pursue across the middle of the field to close the window. We see the deep safety respect the go route from Gallup, leaving nothing but green grass for Cooper when he plants towards the corner. You are not going to find an easier throw and catch for Dak and Amari, resulting in a massive gain and a first down. Cooper was able to consistently win in man coverage. Here's another play from Cooper from last season. We see him on the left side of the shotgun formation, and the corner is in man coverage. Cooper's going to run a sluggo route here and absolutely roasts this corner on the double move. It is just such a smooth, crisp, and clean route that gets Cooper wide open for a massive gain. Yet again, here is another example from 2019. This one is actually against one of the top shutdown corners in the league, Jair Alexander of the Green Bay Packers. Cooper is going to run the sluggo route again here, and while Alexander plays him a little bit better off the line of scrimmage, Amari is still able to beat Jair Alexander and gets open down the field. Dak is able to drop the pass in perfectly, and Cooper uses his yards after catch ability to break some tackles and take it to the house. Now, last but not least, let's talk Michael Gallup. I was super impressed on film with Gallup's ability to not only win downfield, but to also get the ball near the line of scrimmage and make things happen. He should still see plenty of opportunities to build off of his 16.8 yards per catch that he produced in 2019, ranking 7th in the entire NFL. On this play, we're going to see the Cowboys in the shotgun with a doubles formation, and Gallup is on the very top of the screen here. He runs a stop and go route on the outside, and Dak recognizes he can launch the ball to the outside here and give his guy, Michael Gallup, a shot in a one-on-one situation. Gallup makes an incredible play on the ball here, uses his physicality, and finishes with power for the touchdown. The Dallas Cowboys might have the most talented receiving core in the NFL heading into the 2020 season, and I am happy to draft all three of these guys at their current ADP. Don't let the perceived competition for targets scare you away from drafting these guys in 2020. Not only should there be plenty of volume to go around, but all three are incredibly talented players and complement each other very well. Look for the Dallas Cowboys to have all three of these wide receivers inside of the top 36 this season. Thanks again, guys, for watching. If you like the show, please hit that subscribe button. That is huge for us. A like is always appreciated as well if you enjoyed it. If you have any start-sit questions, dynasty questions, or want trade advice, drop it in the comments down below or hit us up on Twitter. We're going to be bringing you these film reviews, full podcasts, and clips throughout the entire 2020 season, helping you win your leagues. Again, this is Alex from Double Move Sports, and we'll catch you next time.